The device works great but the documentation is terrible. I don't know why companies do this to themselves, but unless you are familiar with these sorts of things it could get very frustrating. However, it is set up and has been running continuously on 2 rooftops of tall buildings without fail for a couple months now. I will use them again in the future, but really, pay a technical writer to create useful documentation. If we find a similar product with good performance and good documentation, we would change to that product. However, if you can get it set up correctly, it will do the job. I'd give this 5 stars except for the documentation and some of the default settings. I bought 2, and there was only a quick start guide in the boxes, no manual at all. You can find a manual online here, www.engeniustech.com/resources/ENS202_manual. PDF. This manual is fairly complete, but it is not particularly helpful unless you already know what you are doing. Many terms and concepts are used without explanation, and there is no overall configuration advice for different purposes. Luckily, the EnGenius Tech support guy was pretty helpful, so I was able to run with what he told me and get these working in a couple of hours. It wasn't hard once I got the details right, and so far they seem to be working great. I just wanted to extend a network, i.e., to connect 2 wired networks in 2 locations and make them appear to be one network. I suspect this is probably the most typical use of these devices. It turns out the best way, according to their tech support, is to set them up as a WDS bridge. To save you some time, if that's all you want to do, here is the recipe. First, the devices are not configured out of the box for DHCP, so you can't just plug them into your network and expect to talk to them. You need to wire them to your computer. Of course, you have to wire them via the PO gadget to provide power, and then set your computer to have an IP address on the 192.168.1.30 network. Then you can access the internal web server at 192.168.1.1, user, admin, password admin. This much is explained in the Quick Start Guide. You need to give the devices IP addresses on your local network so you can access their internal websites later. Although their tech support recommended giving them fixed IP addresses, I preferred to have them use DHCP to dynamically assign addresses on my network, as the devices are not hard to find on your router if you need to log into them. The devices at both ends of the wireless link will each need to have their own IP address. You set this up in System Greater Than IP settings. Then you click the Accept button at the bottom of the page, and then click Status Greater Than Save/Reload on the left sidebar. Not knowing I had to do the latter was enough to screw me up for a while. Once you do this, you can just plug them into your network, determine their IP addresses, if you didn't give them fixed ones, and log into their internal web servers to make further changes. If you want to set it up as a WDS bridge, all you have to do is configure both devices as WDS bridge and then provide each device with the other device's MAC address. To set these up as a WDS bridge, under System Greater Than Operations mode on each device's internal web server, click the WDS radio button, then the bridge radio button within the WDS section. Then click the Save and Apply button. To enter the paired device's MAC address, which you can read off from Status Greater Than Main on each one's web server, go to Wireless Settings Greater Than WDS Link Settings, change the selector on the first entry from Disable to Enable and enter the paired device's MAC address. Click link in description for more reviews.